Welcome to our channel, everybody. Today, we're taking a trip down under... No, not under the desk, Portia. We're going all the way to Australia, to one of the most iconic cities in the world, Sydney. Get ready to say good day to stunning beaches, incredible architecture, and a whole lot of fun facts. I'm talking about those little nuggets of trivia that make you go, "What? No way. I gotta tell somebody about this." We've got 10 fascinating facts about Sydney that you probably didn't know, so buckle up, grab your binoculars, for all the amazing sights we're about to see, and get ready to be amazed. All right, let's start with the big one, the one and only Sydney Opera House. You know it, you love it, it's on every postcard. But what makes this building so special? I mean, besides the fact that it looks like a giant, graceful seashell decided to take up architecture. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is a really big deal. It's like winning an Oscar, but for buildings. And get this, those iconic shells are actually covered in over 1 million tiles. That's right, 1 million. Can you imagine cleaning those? Next up, we're talking bridges, and not just any bridge, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. This thing is massive. It's so big you can actually climb it. Yep, you heard me right. You can climb to the very top and get a bird's eye view of the entire city. But even if heights aren't your thing, the bridge itself is seriously impressive. It's one of the longest steel arch bridges in the world, and it's become a symbol of Sydney, kind of like how I'm a symbol of, well, being me. Now let's take a trip back in time to visit the oldest surviving house in Sydney, Cadman's Cottage. Built all the way back in 1816, this little house has seen it all. It stood there through the changing tides of history, from Sydney's early days as a colony to the bustling metropolis it is today. Can you imagine the stories those walls could tell? It's like stepping into a time machine. You can practically hear the echoes of the past whispering through the rooms. Chapter 4, Sun, Sand and Sydney's spectacular beaches. Okay, enough history for now. Let's get to the fun stuff. Beaches. Sydney is famous for its stunning coastline, and Bondi Beach is the star of the show. It's where the cool surfers hang, the sunbathers soak up the rays, and everyone enjoys the laid-back Aussie vibes. But Bondi's not the only beach in town. There's Manly Beach, Coogee Beach, Bronte Beach. You could spend your whole trip just hopping from one beautiful beach to another. Just don't forget your sunscreen, all right? We got to protect that beautiful skin. Chapter 5. Sydney the City. Everyone wants to visit. Speaking of trips, did you know that millions of people visit Sydney every year, and who can blame them? It's a city that has it all. Natural beauty, amazing food, friendly people. Plus you might even spot a koala or a kangaroo while you're there. I hear the Sydney Opera House even has its own resident ghost. Don't worry, I hear it's a friendly one. Maybe it just really loves opera. Chapter 6. The Blue Mountains, where the views are breathtaking, literally. Now let's head inland for a bit to the Blue Mountains. And no, it's not just a fancy name. These mountains really do look blue. It's all thanks to the eucalyptus trees that release a fine mist of oil into the air. When the sunlight hits it just right, boom! Blue Mountains! It's like something out of a fairy tale, and the views from the top are simply breathtaking. You can see for miles and miles. Just try not to get too distracted by the scenery and walk off a cliff, okay? Chapter 7. Lights, Camera, Sydney. A city made for the movies. Back to the city we go, because Sydney isn't just a pretty face, it's also a star. That's right, Sydney has been featured in tons of movies and TV shows. Remember Finding Nemo? Yep, Marlin and Dory's big adventure started right here in Sydney Harbour. And who could forget The Matrix? Those iconic scenes with the Opera House. Pure Sydney magic. So next time you're watching a movie, keep an eye out for those familiar sights. You might be surprised by how often Sydney steals the show. Speaking of Sydney Harbour, this ain't your average harbour, folks. It's the largest natural harbour in the world. I'm talking massive ships, sparkling blue water, and those iconic landmarks we all know and love. It's the heart and soul of the city, and it's easy to see why. Whether you're taking a ferry ride, having a picnic by the water, or just admiring the view, Sydney Harbour is pure magic. Now, let's go up to the highest point in the city, Sydney Tower. This towering structure is hard to miss, and the views from the top are simply incredible. We're talking panoramic views of the entire city, the harbour, the mountains. It's like standing on top of the world. They even have a glass floor section where you can look straight down. I don't know about you, but I'd be holding on to the railing for dear life. Last but not least, we're heading to Taronga Zoo, home to over 4,000 animals from all over the world. But this isn't your typical zoo. First of all, it's located on the shores of Sydney Harbour, so you can get up close and personal with amazing creatures while enjoying stunning harbour views. And second, they're all about conservation and educating visitors about protecting endangered species. It's a zoo with a heart of gold. Now, who's ready for a selfie with a koala? Well, there you have it, folks. 10 fascinating facts about Sydney that hopefully made you laugh, maybe learn a little something, and definitely want to book a trip to Australia's most iconic city. From the stunning Sydney Opera House to the heights of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, from the historic Cadman's Cottage to the sun-kissed shores of Bondi Beach, Sydney has something for everyone. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about Sydney, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing facts about cities around the world. See you next time.